Hello friends, just a reminder before we get started today that the gift is still for sale. That painting is currently being auctioned off for Valley Children's Hospital, and the link to that auction will be available in the description of this video, as well as on my channel in the description of that. You will also be able to find in the description of this video the donation page for Valley Children's themselves if you wish to donate to them directly. But I've eaten up enough of your time with this for now, so without any further ado, let's get painting. Okay, welcome to the main segment. So before we get started today, first I'd like to say my last video went really long. And the only problem with that, for me really, is editing in the limits of my software. So for now on, when they start getting around the 40-minute mark, if I don't end them, I'm going to chop them up and release them as different episodes. At least until I make some upgrades to my recording equipment. Now, secondly, I wanted to apologize to you, the viewer. Yes, because I know you really want to get to the background painting, and I have said it a lot. But we're going to do these bricks. Yeah, I know. Now, what you're, I'm sure you're thinking, why the hell are we doing these bricks? And I'll show you, because you remember with the sidewalk how we added these little details? We're going to do some of those with these bricks. Just little cracks here or there. Some little dots. I'm just doing this real quick to kind of warm up. I only tried getting this texture yesterday, but you ever look at a brick wall? A lot of times they have cracks, they have tremors, they have speckles. I just wanted to do a little bit of that, you know? A lot of time these details don't even show up on camera. But I like doing them anyways. Oh wow, so that really... It didn't last quite as long as our bricks yesterday. That's the thing though, it kind of shows like small details like these in paintings, just how long this can take. So, you know, as kids may say, I may have just trolled you a bit. I didn't really mean to, it's just, well, you know, like a warm-up. So today we're going to finally be addressing the water, because I need to really do all the watercoloring before I address these. I think I'm going to do them like I did on the sample paper, how I outlined them with marker and kind of filled them in with color pencil. I've seen some other artwork by another artist. I didn't really think to get his permission to use his art, so I don't want to, but he had some really inventive new colors. The thing is, though, I want this to look like my previous works, and I didn't do that in my previous work, so. Now again, I have this test piece of paper. See how much of that's showing up on camera? There we go. And I'll try to test my colors up here. So if we look at resilience, which is really the one I want to go off of, you can see I got lighter. I have the darker spots in the deeper parts of the water, and it gets lighter towards the edges. That's kind of what we're going to want to mimic. But first, I just want to find my colors. Now, as you can tell, I love this deep blue here. I mean, already just putting it out, you can see why. And, I mean, that looks good, but I never really remember if I use multiple colors or not when doing this. Oh, look at that one. That one's just so, boom. It's cartoonishly blue. See if that's showing up on camera there. Oh, no, it's not. Well, that one is... Oh, yeah, there it is. It's right there. So I think this is going to be my main color. You know, you see how deep it is right there? They mix really well. So it's going to be my main one. this boy here, and I'm going to use the other one to darken up the other spots. So what I'm going to do is freeze up for a second and have a mini panic attack. I'm going to just come over here. I'm going to get a little dip of our main boy. I'm going to come over here and spread it really deep. I really want this thin. You might have seen, like in some of my other ones, I put the first layer on rather thin. There's reason to that. I'm going to start in this really hard area right here. I'm just going to tackle what's making me the most nervous right away. And oh boy, do I see why. But it looks, to me, fairly decent. Oh, that's turning out good. So I'm going to fill some of these out. Probably just ramble a bit. You know, how's everyone's day going, I guess? Preparing for the holidays? I know I am. I've been using Pokemon to educate my son lately. You know, reading him the Scholastic books and whatnot, and I even use his figures to help play. It's really working pretty well for me. I've been trying to play Pokemon Yellow with him, but the thing is, you know, he's a very modern kid. He was born in 2020, and he's not wowed by such things. I was like, maybe I should get a more modern game, and I got Legends Arceus. I know I was talking about the other day, because, I mean, out of all the Switch ones that kind of appealed to me, and I've been playing it a little bit, and I'm rather enjoying it. I still think the graphics are really far behind where they could have been, even for a Switch game, and it's like, I don't know, for $60 and whatnot, but that's bad as they're doing with some of the other games that they're just pumping with DLC. Okay, so look here. I made the comment the other day that that's a dark spot. It's really not, but see how the blue addresses this? Oh, yeah, I kind of see it, but it's covering it up. And I'm going along the edge of my white there and pulling away from it, again, because I really don't want to bleed into my white. You seen earlier how I had trouble, well, in the other video, erasing some of these watercolor blotches. I know I may have said in a previous video that it's easy to erase watercolor, and it is. If you get to it like right after it dries and the paper's not wet, it's fresh, but if it's set, if it's had time to stain in there, it's really not. I mean, here you really can't tell too much of a mistake. And again, the nature of what we're trying to replicate, a little color transference kind of helps. Right here, I'm going to try to blend these together. Anyways, one thing I find funny, well, first that Arceus just abducts children, but that he gives you like this phone that's shaped like a, kind of his I don't want to say profile because it's not from the side, but what he looks like straight on. Get more water and thin my color out. And you know, this character, they don't really have pockets, and it's just like I'm imagining this little child with this huge awkward phone. Seeing something I'm not quite liking in this Raichu's tail, so I'm just going to actually get more water, dip over here. I'm just going to really lightly, oh, Nelly. Oh, that made me nervous. Like the other areas, I'm really going to dress Raichu. Look, I got a little green where his electricity went over. That's funny. It's minor enough it got bled out. So right now I'm really trying to just nail my first layer. Try not to get dark spots. I'll make the colors match more in a minute. Dude, this feels pretty relaxing right now. I wish I could put on like some Miles Davis or something, just relaxing for the background, but I still have not mastered copyright. And the thing is, like, I tried looking up like non-copyright music and whatnot, but then like ads come on. I can't control the ads. Maybe you are playing music while watching me, and if so, I'm kind of curious. What music you playing? Is it Korn? Are you coming undone? Dun 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 today. Maybe badass. Blind Melon, maybe? Is it Base Hunter? Is he talking about that girl who likes to mix him the coffee? Yeah. I'm totally jealous. I am a little bit jealous of Base Hunter. Just a little bit. How did he get the rights to that T-Rex sound effect from a Jurassic Park for a song? Yeah, actually, I don't say this very often. I haven't said it for many years, but I'm kind of in the mood for some Daft Punk, actually. That'd be... Sure, if you watch my other videos, you're like, your musical taste seems kind of all over the place, and I'd say to you, yes. You know, I have intense tonal shifts in my own mind, so I like my music to do the same. Well, they could say, it matches my vibe, bruh. There we go. This is where it's going to get complex, is behind these boys. Anyways, yeah, he likes the fights, essentially, in Pokemon. Like Yellow, so I thought more 3D battles. All the new ones, which one appeals to me the most? I'm like, I guess that one. Seems a little more grounded. I really noticed today, like I said, I've had criticism for this early on, is that like early Pokemon wasn't as anime. Like the first games and like whatnot, I mean, they kind of, like Charizard's eyes, but I feel like the anime, the show, changed it, and then it amped it up, and they really went with the more cutesy anime thing. And I found some proof today is actually Wally from the third games. You know, like if you look at his art, he has this quail-like thing on, this huge, like, this thing on his head, and, well, you look at him in the game sprite here. I'll pull these up right now. I look stupid if I can't find these. I'm gonna have to cut these out. It'll just be more blue. But, like, that's totally tamed down, you know, that's, I don't know which came first, but it definitely seems like they go out of their way. And personally, to me, when I was a little kid, the thing that, like, me and my cousins liked about what we would later understand to be anime isn't that, like, oh, it looks so cute, or it's so shiny, is that they looked realistic. Is that a lot of American cartoons, just, the characters didn't look really realistic, and if they did, they were very stunted, their movements were weird, and anime was very different. And it was like a bridge to us doing more realistic cartoons. But then anime started to change,
It got more shiny-eyed, it got more streamlined, and it just became another, like, thing, another, like, brand. Like, the word became a brand. But because there's a word, like, you can go to the Dollar Tree and be like, how to draw a manga. Anime style. That kind of thing. To me, it was always just cartoons. It was just in our country's cartoons. I love when people are like, Japanese anime, and I'm like, what are the other animes? I guess North Korea. Ning ha jing hong po, lai ha ming yang ma. See what I said, though, about the Gyarados, how it's going to kind of blend in? That's why I thought the red would be cool, but again, I kind of like that, because to me, that's part of what's terrifying about the Gyarados. It's the whole sea serpent thing, is that you don't see it until it's a problem. By the way, James, I want to talk, like, he's screwed up with the Gyarados. First, I don't understand how any of them, especially Misty, the water type, saw what Magikarp could evolve into. I'll get into Misty in a second. And not been like, hey, maybe I should get one of those. Especially James, he's a freaking idiot. Abused that thing after it saved his life. But I watched the episode again today where he's like a rich kid and he leaves his Growlithe and he says, you gotta watch my parents. Seems like he had him locked in the back room. Like, he had no reason to leave him. Other than, I guess, if he's, like, noble and you don't want to, like, disrupt his nobility. Kind of interested what it said in the Japanese. Because, like, I mean, stand by it, kind of. You didn't have to leave your Growly. I don't think I was supposed to paint behind there. But, I mean, I kind of left it anyways. It'll work. Now, as for Misty, I'm realizing as an adult, I'll admit, when I was a kid, I had a bit of a crush on Misty till May came out. And as an adult, I'm like, why did I like her? She's so mean to everybody and everything. Like, she's either freaking out or mean, and everyone just ignores her or goes with it or is her victim. And how she treats poor Psyduck, dude. Like, she literally hates him because he's in pain. And then all her interactions, like, he'll make her happy. She'll just fuck him up for no reason. Just yell at him, treat him like shit, dude. She's always, like, criticizing Ash about being a crappy Pokemon trainer. But it's like, dude, you were such the B word. A real capital K even, you know what I'm saying? Now look right here, I've been doing the swish in the same area on this paper, and it's bubbling up. That's why I always say things like, oh, your paper, you don't want it to get too wet, that kind of thing, because that's what will happen. Again, that's why I use the big, heavy, thick paper too, because get more time before that happens. I mean, I often use a little too much water with my impatience. My son asked me today, I'm sure a lot of you can relate, it's like, why don't you like 6-7? I said, but it's not that I don't like it, it's just, after the 50th time on the first day a week ago, man lost its novelty, you still say it that much. I was at the dentist and she had to count, the kids' teeth in, every day. It was funny, we took him to the zoo, And because of his schooling, you know, he's not really in school a lot of times when the other kids are. Well, anyways, there was a bunch of field trip kids there when we were at the zoo, and he kept like trying to 6-7 the kids, and you could see the teacher looking at them like they get in trouble, and some of them did get in trouble. Then we went trick-or-treating, and he 6-7'd, and I tell you, it was like a wave. You could hear these kids as it rolled down the street for miles. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, into the distance, and it was right up there with Pokemon Go. Oh, I bled over a little right there. Yeah, well. Like, when it first launched that first week, that was insane. I've never seen so many people. Just kind of like wholeheartedly dive into something. It's really dry. I think I could use some more right here. So what I'm going to do is make my lid way too long. I'm going to ink those in. And back to them a little bit. Trying to do, I have to look at my line language. I'm just trying to fill those spots in right now. I can always do the rest later if I'm off on something here. Like right now you can easily jump and mistake and wish in there, but like this splash, if this splash is different. Actually might do the reverse of what I did in the R spot. I think I'm just going to put the blue in and then draw around it in a minute. I might not draw around it at all and just put the blue in. You gotta be careful turning your brush too, because your different parts of your brush will have different amounts of paint, different amounts of water. A lot of the spots really didn't have room to erase, so I'm just going to try to darken what I can. I was considering getting like Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee, but again, like Pokemon Yellow, just play Pokemon Yellow, kid. Not like how it was like catches Pokemon Go. Like I could just play Pokemon Go. I'm gonna get on my cell phone soon, anyways. And we can play together. Point is, I want like a game, cause like I want him to get into it, but it's like he's also young enough. I gotta be able to play it with him. It'd be cool if ABC Mouse had Pokemon, but I guess Scientologists can't. Fuck, they got enough money. They could afford the rights to put Pokemon in their game if they wanted. Pokemon just be like, you do what to people? Oh yeah, but we like money. Prepare for trouble and make it double. Pokemon and Scientology on the double. You know, something funny about Scientology is people always make fun of the Thetan readers. That is part of a polygraph machine. It's like 2/3 of it. Polygraph it examines, it's like your heartbeat, your breath rate, and something else. So there is some basis to it. Or at least what they're reading. They're just waiting until the person gets nervous, essentially, which they can see, and they elaborate on it. Like, why are you nervous? But, you know, anyone who knows anything about polygraph machines knows they're bullshit. And some people might know it by their more popular name, lie detector, and I get pissed off they still perpetrate it as that to this day. First off, you know, I might save you someday here. Polygraph results are not admissible in court. You don't have to take one. The thing is, if you take one and fail it, they might still bring it up in court. You know, there's that whole thing, oh, it has to be stricken from the record. They don't care as long as those 12 people hear it, you know? So it's a bullshitometer. Cop says they want to hook you up to one, be like, oh, you want to get your dowsing rods next? Shall we cast some bones and chant to the spirits of the east wind? And if they also want to do it, you immediately know that either they're trying to bullshit and intimidate you, or they're not really up on what they should be doing. They're just grasping at straws, like, who can we get to act nervous in front of one of these things so we can figure this out? And if you believe Penn and Teller, you can just squeeze your sphincter. But if you believe the other guy on Penn and Teller, he'll just see on his machine that you squeezed his sphincter. Or your sphincter, which I guess he has experience seeing that. I guess I've had many anus squeezers. Now, as long as we're on the subject of protecting your civil liberties, you often hear with the dogs, like, oh, how am I gonna, you can't beat the dog. You gotta try to make it so the dog can't sniff it. You actually don't try to trick the dog, you try to trick the person. Like if what the dog's looking for is under, I don't know, some cheeseburgers. You know, the dogs are trained not to signal on that, but, you know, people make mistakes, especially if they're confused, they're overwhelmed. Very easily you can get a seeing eye dog to abandon its post. Why did I say that? Honestly, I don't support any crimes against the disabled. I'm just trying to confuse what I'm talking about for the man at the censor board. So look, I got these little pulpies. I'm trying to use a pen to pick them up. You don't want to wipe them when they fall on like that because they will smear color. So these colors are really starting to look cool. At least to a level where I'm happy. And I'm getting really low here and out of my border, but I'm sorry about that. I get into it. Especially on tight spots like right there under his nose. I think all I really got left. See, I'm looking in this area right here. So like I could do some up here with this, like you see, I already did a little bit right here, how I kind of faded over, but the thing is, I don't want to infer too much where I don't know what is where at the moment. And in our next video, I'll be adding some dark spots to the water. The darker spots that'll go in here. And I'll be doing shadowing like beneath the fingers and whatnot. As well as doing like the fingering here, I want to do more of that like up here. That's definitely shadowing, say for when I do the shadowing on the rest of the fingers. I'll probably start with the shadowing on the fingers and then do the dark spots. But my point is, once I do that, like I start shadowing these fingers, it's going to affect how a lot of this looks. So I want to save it for that step. Sometimes I would start now, but again, this video has been going for a minute. And it's right about at the mark where I need to cut it for the processing sake of my software. There we go. Alright, so let's try to clean it off without touching it. Let's move this wet piece of paper. Now we'll set it on there. And the Gyarados looks a little less bold. That's funny. Okay, so today we got down our nice highlights for our background on our blue. Again, so we're going to be about right there. The sides. And look pretty good. Yeah, as always, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I hope you are too. I really hope that you'll come back and join me for that. You know, as always, this has been a very relaxing and cathartic process for me. Anyways, I hope to see you back here next time. Until then, stay safe out there.